Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Real Positive Girl podcast with me, Sabrina. This is the show that'll help you become your best self, and today we are talking about how to accept a compliment. But before we get into that, I want to remind you, as always, that I'd love for you to come say hi to me on Instagram. I am at Sabrina Joy Perozzo, and I would also love an email. I am at realpositivegirlpodcast@gmail.com. Either way, please send me a DM, send me an email with any questions, comments, concerns, prayer requests, feedback, topic suggestions, anything that you would like to hear about, anything you'd like to chat about. We can just become friends online. I would love that personally. My website is also sabrinajoy.com. You can go ahead there and sign up for a newsletter. The second issue is coming out next Friday. If you're listening around the time this is coming out, it'll be coming out April 15th. And I'm doing it every other week right now, and that should be a lot of fun. So you can go ahead to sign up on my website for that, and you can also go through the contact me page there if you'd love to send me a message there. So either way, I'd love to hear from you. I appreciate you even being here and listening, and I hope to hear from you soon. But let's go ahead and jump into today's episode, which again is how to accept a compliment. I don't know about anyone else, but I do know that a lot of people generally deal with the same kind of things that I personally struggle with. So I feel like I'm in good company. But I don't know about anyone else, but I am the most awkward person when it comes to accepting a compliment. Someone will be like, "Oh my gosh, you're so great," and I'm like, just so awkward about it, so weird about it, and it's not good. I feel like I am the master of giving compliments to other people. I freaking love giving compliments to other people, but I am terrible at accepting them. It's awkward, it's weird, it's not good. Maybe this is the same for you though. Right? Do you? I even feel awkward talking about it. Because I'm reflecting back on times where I was given a compliment, and I'm just wow, I was really weird, and I still am weird. But when I am given a compliment, which I am so grateful for, I am grateful for it. I struggle to show that or speak that with my mouth. But when I do get a compliment, I tend to go into deflection mode when I get one. Someone will say something really nice, and I will immediately find a way to deflect it. So I will be like, "Oh, that's because of so and so," trying to be like, "No, it wasn't me," or say it's "Oh, it's no big deal," or even be like, "Oh," and just silence, radio silence. Yeah, it's not great. It's actually really embarrassing. Actually, it's really embarrassing. And the few times I have given a better response and actually received the compliment, in a nice, gracious way, I felt weird afterwards. So weird, really weird. It shouldn't have happened to me. Why? It's weird because it's it makes you feel good in some part of your heart and your mind to have someone tell you something really nice and kind, and that you are good at this thing. But some of us struggle with that actually feeling like a good feeling like a feeling that we should be receiving at all. It's you want it, but then when you get it, it's it feels like you're putting a round piece into a square star hole. It's just not going to work. And, this is actually quite common with people that have a hard time accepting compliments. It can be for a number of reasons as to why, like social anxiety or low self-esteem and low self-worth. It can also be because you don't want to feel full of yourself or conceited by confirming the compliment. Sometimes that is awkward for me, especially in a group setting. And this has happened recently in the coaching group that I am in, that they are coaching me on starting my business. And this past week, I got a lot of compliments, being "Oh, Sabrina does this really well," or "Sabrina does this really well," or, if you need an example, go look at what Sabrina's doing. And it's I'm just smiling, because luckily it's on Zoom, and I'm just smiling, and we're all supposed to be muted anyway because we're in the lesson portion, and I'm just quiet, not saying anything, smiling, feeling super awkward, and feeling like, oh my gosh, like I don't want other people to feel bad that I'm getting the compliment and they're not getting it right now, but someone's bound to get it. And if you're doing a good job, then it's a good thing, but it still feels weird. It feels so weird, right? And I don't want to but yeah, you don't want to feel conceited or full of yourself by accepting that compliment because you don't want to come off as like selfish and all about you. But I think one of the most notable reasons we struggle to accept compliments is due to our low self-esteem. And I don't know about you, but I definitely struggle with low self-esteem. It is a constant daily battle for me because it's been dashed so many different times and so many different experiences, right? Especially growing up. Uh, it's not that other people made me feel this way. It was just a combination of the environment and the things feeding into me, and then the things that weren't feeding into me, and some terrible experiences. You know what I mean? Like, so regardless, but yeah, it's low self-esteem. Maybe you you feel the same way. Maybe you're like, yeah, I kind of like compare with what you're talking about, Sabrina. And so, the way that we see ourselves like doesn't align with how the people who compliment us see us. So someone saying like, yes, Sabrina does this really well in front of a group of people, I feel really awkward and I already have low self-esteem. I don't think very much of myself and I'm struggling and I'm working on that, but it's tough because I don't see myself as this person to be made a positive example out of, or that is excelling in this thing that I thought I was just mediocre in, right? I thought I was just getting by. You know what I mean? So yeah, we don't see ourselves the same way that other people that are complimenting us see us. We don't see ourselves as worthy enough of receiving any type of positive words or praise. And especially when we're struggling with something, we feel far away. I don't know if you feel distance with your heart like I do, but you feel far away from anything good and positive, and that anything kind or like some sort of bomb compliment that comes our way, it will feel like a lie. If we are down in the dumps and we are having a hard time in life and things are just not going right, and bam, someone just comes out of nowhere with a compliment. We're like, how can this be true? Everything else feels like it's falling apart, right? So it's so difficult, especially since we just don't see ourselves as worthy enough of receiving these positive words or praise. And I am so envious of the people that don't really struggle with self-esteem, self-worth. They know who they are and they believe in who that person is from an early age and continue to develop into that. It's not that they always were perfectly aligned with those thoughts of themselves, but it's been pretty linear, not as much of a roller coaster as me or other people that I know struggle with this. And it's kind of a bummer because I feel like accepting compliments can be one of the easiest things ever, right? But so many of us struggle with it, so many of us. But let's also consider the different ways we respond to compliments when it happens. So you get a compliment, right? And, many people will deflect the compliment, like I mentioned before in the beginning. I'm a big deflector. Because you by drawing attention to something else away from yourself. You're like, oh no, it's because of those people and aren't they great and they're amazing. It's all them. It's not me. You're trying to just cast that positivity on someone else because you don't think you deserve it. You don't feel like you are living up to the standards that other people you think are living up to, and they deserve all this praise and accolades and positivity. When really, if we start believing these things, our confidence will boost and how we see ourselves will increase and our self-esteem and self-worth will go up. And it's just about turning inward. But I know that a lot of us struggle with that, right? I know I do. It just sucks. But yeah, so people will deflect, drawing attention to something else. You could also respond by insulting yourself. I've definitely done this before. Someone even called me out on it not too long ago, which would be saying that your what you're wearing is like someone would be like, yeah, oh my gosh, I love what you're wearing. You're like, oh no, it's terrible. It's awful. It's not good. It's falling apart, right? So you are insulting yourself by saying, oh no, I'm ugly. Oh no, this is terrible on me. Like, don't even, like, you don't know what you're talking about. Um, the next possibility of the way that you're going to respond to a compliment is denying the compliment altogether by saying that you didn't do what they are complimenting you for. So you're like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so happy. And like, you did an amazing job helping that old lady go down the stairs. And you're like, oh no, I didn't do that. I just did it because like I had to, but I didn't really do that much of a good job. And like, she didn't like it and it didn't really work out. And she almost slipped at the bottom step, right? So you're just totally like denying, like, no, there's no reason for you to compliment me here. Absolutely not. Move on. But my favorite one, which I sometimes lean into, of a way to respond, a negative, bad, not good way to respond to a compliment, is asking for reassurance in whatever they complimented you in. So this would be like someone telling you your presentation was fantastic, which I have to give a presentation at work in like a week. So someone was like, oh my gosh, Serena, that presentation was just so bomb fantastic. And I would respond with asking them if they really felt that way and how you felt like it fell apart. So it'd be like, they'd be like, Sabrina, that presentation is so fantastic. And I'd be like, really? Do you actually think so? Do you really think it was actually a really good presentation? Do you think it was good enough? Because I thought it fell apart the whole time. I thought it was terrible. I thought, wow, they probably didn't even think I knew what I was talking about. So I lean into that one because, I do have a problem with like needing to be reassured of things that I should already know or I've already been told is true. Because I have a hard time believing that anything positive or good said about me is true, right? Because I struggle to just believe in my heart that I'm doing what I need to do and doing it right and doing it to the best of my ability. It really sucks, honestly. And I'm sure if you struggle with that, you feel the same because it's not a good feeling to be in. It's not fun. I laugh because that is the way that I deal with pain sometimes and feeling uncomfortable. And it's hard. It's really tough. And so maybe one of those ways that you respond to a compliment like struck you and you're like, oh yeah, that's the one that I typically do. Or maybe you do them all because I have been known to do them all as well. And that's fine. And whatever reason you feel like really hits home for why you struggle to accept compliments, that's great. Whatever you feel like fits the best and aligns most with what you deal with. But regardless of how you respond to a compliment or like why the reason why you struggle with it, if you aren't finding a gracious way to accept that compliment, then you're doing it wrong. And I know this might sound like harsh, and I kind of mean it that way because despite the fact that I struggle with accepting compliments, I do know that if I'm not finding a gracious way to accept it, I am doing it wrong. I completely understand that you and me may struggle with this because of how we feel about ourselves and all that other stuff that we've already talked about. But by not accepting the compliment, you are insulting the person that gave it. You are telling them that they're a liar. You are making them, not making them feel, you are inciting like a rejection towards them because you're like not accepting it. And that is insulting. And that's not fair. They were just trying to do something nice. And I know people try to do nice things all the time and are pushed back. Definitely have experienced that myself. But still, this should be an easy one. This should be one that does not receive backlash, right? You are, in me, believe me, I'm talking to myself as well. You are throwing away the kindness and generosity of the person that took time out of their day to say something they probably thought would lift you up, right? Like when we think about it that way, like crap. Look at that. They took the time. They took the energy to do it. When I don't generally reflect on giving compliments to other people unless the reaction of them accepting it was like so full of joy. then I'll like reflect on it because I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I did that. But I don't generally reflect on me giving compliments. But when I was writing these notes and I was thinking about it, I was like, yeah, a lot of times compliments, you don't have to give them. You don't have to go out of your way to do that. You don't have to speak and say that. Like, you don't. But you do. And they do. And they make a choice to do that. And why would we throw that away? Why would we throw it back in their face so disrespectfully? Like, really. So it's just something to remind yourself of when you want to disregard a compliment. Think about like the fact that they went through the effort to do it. Like, let's not be rude back to them. There is no absolute reason to. And, this might not be as important to you, but by disregarding a compliment, you also present as someone who isn't confident in themselves. And so if being confident in yourself is important to you, just know that by doing that, you are not showing like this highly confident person that you might want to be, which I want to be, just to be honest. I'm working on that. It's something I talk a lot about in therapy these days. That irrational anger. And what was the other thing we talked about today? We talked about, people like reading my emotions on my face wrong. But yeah, so like if you want to be confident, doing this will not like show confidence. So this all brings me to what I want to share with you today, which is how to accept a compliment. So I have 5 tips for you. They're all very simple and hopefully helpful. If you need more tips, you can obviously search the internet. This is not a conclusive list. There's a lot of like classic ideas out there on how to do it. I'm going to give you 1 or 2 of those, and then I tried to pick a couple others that were a little different, but still helpful. Okay, so number 1, we're going to start with a super easy one on how to accept a compliment. Say a simple thank you. Like, remember at the top of the episode where I was telling you that when people gave me a compliment and I would just be like, oh, and then radio silence. It's so dumb. I don't even understand what goes on in my brain at these moments. But I should have just said thank you. And then that was it. Because you could just say thank you. You could just be like, they could be like, oh my gosh, like you are so amazing at that art. And you could just be like, thank you. You don't have to be like, oh, well, thanks, but like I would tell you, here is like a warning for you where you feel like you might go off into a space of disregarding a compliment. If you in your brain want to say thank you, but don't say it. Just say thank you, okay? Because even if it was a group effort, let's say someone's coming to you and they're like, oh my gosh, like great presentation. And it was like several of you. You can still say thank you. And then you could also turn to the other people in your group and be like, yeah, we did do a good job, right? Like continue the compliment. Still, just despite the fact that it was a group effort, it does not mean that you personally don't get a compliment. Like you can say, yo, thank you. And then be like, yeah, our group did really well. Or, thank you. We all appreciate you saying that because we worked hard for it. Like you just need to absorb it. You just need to say thank you. So saying a simple thank you, like just that. You don't need to explain yourself. See, the problem with me, I'll just a little tangent here and move on. Me, tangents, is a lot of times when people will compliment like my hair or my makeup or what I'm wearing, right? I tend to get a lot of those compliments unless it's like in a work situation or at church or whatever. And then it's like, okay, well, different compliments, just different. Depends on what situation I'm in. So when people will give me a compliment on my outward appearance, a lot of times I will be like, thank you. I do this, that, and the other. And I also feel like that kind of diminishes the compliment as well because maybe they just wanted you to know that they appreciated you, but they don't really care like how you got there. And I respect that because they just want to be like, thank you. Like they don't care where you bought it or that you bought it on sale. And by some reason that you bought it on sale, that means that this compliment is not worth that much or it's important for them to know, which it's not. But I tend to fall into those things where I'm like, oh, thanks, it's actually behaving today, which I still feel like is deflecting a compliment. because you're kind of insulting yourself. You're like, well, my hair actually got it together today. No, you could just say thank you. You could just say thank you. And if they have a follow-up question, then answer it like, where did you get it? Oh, I got it at this place. Or how do you do your hair? Oh, this is how I do it. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but today it did. You know what I mean? So just say a simple thank you, and that's it. That's it. I promise you. I know it's awkward because it feels like there might be a silence there, but say thank you, give it a beat, and then be like, move on to something else in the conversation if possible. Okay, number 2, don't diminish yourself by giving them a bigger compliment. It can be really easy for you to receive a compliment and then immediately want to out-compliment them. Say things like, oh my gosh, like they're going to be like, oh my gosh, you sang so well today. And you'll be like, oh, well, I didn't sing as good as you. You're an amazing singer. See, in a way that you are diminishing their compliment because they genuinely were like, yeah, you sang really good today. And you're like, oh no, I didn't. Not as good as you. And you're kind of creating like this battle of like, okay, well, who is the best based on compliments, right? So just accept your compliment. And if you do want to give them a compliment in return, make sure it's more gracious. So they're going to be like, hey, you were really good presenting today. And you can be like, thank you. I also really enjoyed the way that you presented today. It was really fantastic. And if you really feel the need to one up yourself by telling them how much better they are than you can say it in a way that's like, I look up to you so much, and it would be so great to learn how to do what you do on your level, because that's what I aspire to. You need to find it a better way. You don't need to like kick yourself to the ground and make yourself look like garbage. No, you can accept your compliment, give them a compliment, and also tell them how much you admire them. Like easy peasy lemon squeezy, I'm telling you. So don't diminish yourself by giving them a bigger compliment. Don't try to out-compliment someone. That is just rude, and it can also be uncomfortable for the other person because they're trying to do something nice, and you're trying to do something nice, but kind of in a passive-aggressive way. You know what I mean? Okay, number 3 out of 5. Don't forget. Number 3, remember it's okay to be good at things. This sounds really silly and simple, but it's the truth. Remember, I feel like this would warrant like a TikTok and a reel on Instagram and TikTok, because it's something so simple yet important, severely important. Remember, it's okay to be good at things. I feel like, at least in like the, stereotypical thought of a woman, not thoughts of a woman, like thoughts about women, rather, that women typically tend to not want to accept compliments because it's like uncomfortable, and like in the past women have been seen as lower than men, and that you're not worthy of that kind of thing, which I think is all BS, obviously now. Like, right, we're all like, we can do, cool things and awesome things and amazing things, just as well, if not better than men in some things. It just depends, right? So, but a lot of times women, and I'm not saying men don't do this, I'm just saying, based on my research, women tend to not want to highlight their strengths and say that they are good at things and accept compliments when they are good at things, when they've demonstrated that. And it's tough because I feel like this was even true as a child a little bit, was being told to like just like kind of like chill and stay quiet. I don't necessarily need to be out there talking about how good I am at things, because it like makes other people feel uncomfortable. You don't want to make other people feel like they're not good at those things, which I don't know how I feel about that, because I don't want to be out here bragging and making someone else feel like bad about themselves, but also when you feel bad about yourself, you choose to feel that way. You choose to ingest that information and that whatever you're experiencing as a negative thing. And you can choose not to do that, right? So it's like, I don't know exactly how I feel about that. But it's important for you to remember that you are good at things, and you're good at things because you were blessed with that capability to learn how to do it, and you worked hard and you applied yourself, and or maybe you're just naturally good at it, which is freaking cool. You're good at it, and that's okay. You shouldn't have to feel bad about it. I fully believe that if you weren't supposed to be good at it, then you wouldn't be, right? So, it's not a fluke. It just is what it is. So you have to remember that it's okay to be good at things, because when you're good at things, people will realize and recognize that you are good at things, and they will tell you so, and you just need to say thank you. Just say thank you. That's it. Just say thank you. Just be like, thanks. You are amazing. I appreciate you saying that. That was very kind. Like things like that. If you need to add stuff on to just thank you, if you feel like that's just too awkward, I feel you. I get you. I will be like, thank you. That's really kind of you to say. Or thank you. I really appreciate you saying that. Or thank you. That was really nice. Or thank you. That made me feel really good. Right? Any of those. Mix, match, remix it how you want. But yeah, so just remember it's okay to be good at things. It's okay to be told that you're good at things. It's okay to be complimented because you're good at things. It's okay for people to shout you out because you're good at things. Yes, it is. Okay, number 4. Practice accepting compliments by giving yourself compliments. I feel like this is a really, 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 really good one because it can also help to boost your self-esteem by telling yourself things that you love about yourself or that you appreciate about yourself. Just positivities, compliments. Be like, yeah, I look really beautiful today. Or, yeah, I did really good on this presentation. I was able to write this letter really well. Or for me, I'm like, yeah, that was a really good podcast episode. Like, seriously, like, talk myself up. You got to be your own hype person. And then other hype people will come along. But you got to be your own hype person first, okay? You can be like, yeah, or yesterday. Okay. Yesterday, I made dinner and I made like chicken carbonara, which is like a typical meal that I make in my house. But I decided to make, what is it called? Is it called bruise? I think it's called bruised tomatoes. Where you just like saute like cherry tomatoes in a pan with olive oil, and then you add like basil and garlic and salt and pepper. Anyway, they were delicious, but I never made it before, like never ever. And I just thought it'd be a really good addition. And so I made them, and then I ate them, and I literally was like, I took a bite and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so good. I did a really good job on these tomatoes. And then my husband took a bite and he was like, oh my gosh, these are the best tomatoes I've ever had. Like literally, like not even joking, not being sarcastic. And so it's just things like that. Like even making something, you're like, this is really delicious. I did really good at making this. And it doesn't matter if you follow the recipe or not, or you made it up, like you can give yourself compliments. Like whatever you're doing good, like you can be like, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of myself that I was able to tidy up all of this stuff in this matter of time. I am so proud of myself. I did a really good thing. So you can practice accepting compliments from other people by giving and accepting compliments to yourself. It'll feel more natural to receive those positive and kind words. And you can also practice being grateful for you telling yourself these amazing things to boost your confidence, boost your self-esteem, and feel better about yourself. So practice accepting compliments by giving yourself compliments, because the more you do it, the easier it'll be, and the more gracious you'll be about accepting other people's compliments. Okay, number 5, and the last one I have to share with you today on how to accept a compliment is do not downplay compliments. I know that we already talked about this, but it's a really good reminder because we do not want to be downplaying anyone's compliments. It's rude. It's an insult. It's a rejection. So we want to make sure that, again, you just say thank you. And you don't say, oh, it's not a big deal, or it was nothing, or don't worry about it. No, don't downplay compliments, because also if you don't learn how to accept them, you will not grow in your self-love, your self-worth, your self-esteem. your confidence and who you believe yourself to be and how you can continue to achieve goals and work towards things that you want in your life. If you don't believe that you are worthy of these acknowledgments, of these positive, kind words that people are willing to give out for free, it's really only costing them their time and their breath. Maybe not their breath, even if they text you or send you an email or whatever it is. So just don't downplay compliments. There's no reason to. It actually takes more effort because you're saying more words. You say less words. You just say thank you, and then you're done. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. It's kind. Thank you. You're very nice. And saying thank you, you're very nice. I know that can sound like sarcastic, but I think your tone and inflection will help it to not. And it's kind of like a compliment back to them without being weird. So don't downplay compliments. Don't tell them it's just not a big deal. It's a big deal. And maybe it's a big deal for them to give you this compliment because maybe they don't usually do that. And it is a big deal because you're awesome. And they want you to know it. They want you to know it. It's fantastic. So, okay, that's all I have for you guys today on how to accept a compliment. Yes, talking about self-worth issues. Thank you so much for listening to the Real Positive Girl podcast. Again, with me, Sabrina. I appreciate you listening, downloading, sharing the show. You are absolutely fantastic. Please, I encourage you to share the show with other people so they can also get these words that I say that's hopefully helpful. Again, please make sure that you check the show notes below for notes for the show. Also, to get to my website, to download a free guide for 50 questions on how to become more self-aware, to find me on Instagram, to send me an email, and also on the website, you can sign up for my newsletter that's coming out next Friday. But until next time, have a good one, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.